Okay. So welcome everybody. My name is Tom. I'm from the Buffalo Audubon Society. We're here with Marcie Jacklin and Birds on the Niagara, and we're going to talk about Marcie Jacklin, about Marcie's favorite bird. So Marcie, go ahead and tell us your favorite bird.
Well, Tom, this is really difficult because I love them all. So it was really hard to narrow it down. But let's just talk about birds on the Niagara maybe for a few minutes.
Sure.
So my favorite bird would be warblers. I can't wait until the spring when all the migrants come back. I just love them. But if we're talking about the festival, wow, there's so many birds that I want to go down to the river and see. The gulls come to mind, of course, first, and little gull is always a treat. It's one of my favorites. I spend hours looking at Bonaparte's gulls, trying to pick out a little gull or something even better. But they're the smallest gull in the world, which is really interesting because we also get the largest gull in the world, which is greater blackback. But there's just something about the underwing on the little gull that is just pops out when it's in the midst of a bunch of Bonaparte's gulls.
Have you ever been lucky enough to see a little gull near a great blackback gull?
No, have you?
Scale? No, I've seen them in a museum side by side. And it's like you have a pigeon and an eagle, about the size difference.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Well, they are really small.
That was like
a good name.
Yeah, exactly. That was like seeing the Stellar sea eagle. I mean, it was beside bald eagles and it was enormous. I couldn't believe the size of it.
Talk for 2 seconds about the Stellar sea eagle because I want to hear it.
Oh, it was an amazing chase. Basically, it showed up in Quebec. This is after it was in Nova Scotia. And a friend and I got right in the car and drove out almost 18 hours straight.
Wow.
To miss it by half an hour. And so spent the whole day looking for it and then ended up getting accommodations way out in the middle of nowhere.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Got a call in the morning. It's here. And so we dashed to the car and started driving away from it for about half an hour, had to spin around and go back and managed to see it, which was incredible. Probably the most amazing bird, the rarest bird I'll ever see.
So for anyone listening that doesn't know, a Stellar sea eagle is native to Eastern Russia, Japan, and the Bering Sea, basically. And they're rare within their range. There's only about 4,000 of them, right? And so one got lost and spent about a year crisscrossing North America, and it would pop up, Alaska and Texas, and it would only be there for a day. Nobody really got to see it except for the one person who saw it, and then it stuck around for a little while and came back, and you got to see it.
Yeah,
which is amazing. I think that would be my favorite bird sighting right away if I was able to find one.
Oh yeah,
it's in Maine right now. Have you been following it?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
So it's in Maine right now, and I'm every morning I get up and I'm like, is it still there? And I look and it's there, and I'm like, I gotta find a way to get to Maine.
There's only one way to get that bird, and as soon as you hear about it, get in the car and go. I'm convinced of it because it moves. It seems to move around a lot.
Yep. So back off our tangent. I think that was a very good tangent. That's how birders are. You have to be able to be like focusing on one thing and then be ready for the new bird that comes in and gets your attention. So
yeah.
So back to birds on the Niagara. Your favorite gull. Do you have a little gull? Do you have a favorite spot to find them?
Queenston Sand Docks, which would be right across, I guess, from Lewiston.
Yep.
Yeah. So
that's probably the best spot in the world to see them. Or the best spot in North America to see them, anyways.
Well, the flyby actually in Niagara on the Lake is amazing if you can stand the cold. We've had 14, 15 go by at the flyby this year. So it's pretty amazing, but it's tough birding.
So we didn't introduce this when you started. You are Canadian. You are on the opposite side of the Niagara River from us, and we haven't seen you in person in a long time.
No.
I have seen you on one of those windy days by the Peace Bridge, where we're looking at the same bird underneath the Peace Bridge, and we see all the birders in Canada on the other side, and we look at you because you're closer. So we look at you and see, where are you looking? And wherever you're looking, we try to look too. That's how we find them. So we'll wave across the river at you sometime. We haven't seen you in a while. So
I use that technique too. It's great.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the best things. I remember during the brown booby, you guys were telling us where it was so we could get it on our side. Yeah. That was so much fun.
I was still pretty new to the buffalo birding community for that bird.
Really? Oh my God.
That was what was that, in 2013?
Something like that. Yeah.
And I moved here in 2011. So yep. You also said you had a favorite gull, and that's a little gull. And do you have a favorite duck in the Niagara River?
Yeah, I think, well, the one I spend the most time on and see the least is Harlequin duck. It's such a beauty and so unusual to get it here. So yeah, I'd have to put that down. Fingers crossed I get it this year.
There has been one at the Niagara Falls in its usual spot, which is funny because where we look at it, we are like 100 yards from the Canadian border as it goes through the Niagara River.
Yeah.
But where I could see where it would sit would be difficult for someone on the other side of the river to see it. It seems to like one rock that you can look at from the Three Sisters Islands.
Yeah.
It sits on.
I actually got slaty gull last year because you guys had pinpointed it so well on your side that I could actually pick it up on my side, which was phenomenal because that's over a kilometer at least.
That's really far. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you have a favorite spot to find Harlequin ducks for anyone?
Well, that rock, but yeah, it's really hard to see that rock from our side. So
yeah, I can imagine.
And the water level has to be low because otherwise we get so much wave action, we can't even see that little rock. So it's pretty, it's a skilled effort for sure to try and get that bird on our side if it's on the rock.
It would be really interesting to know how many years it's the same bird that we're looking at. And it's in such a spot that nobody could really ever get close to it.
Yeah.
And it never seems to come close to either side that I've seen.
But the pattern's the same every year too. So
it's the same rock with the two trees on it.
Yeah.
Yep. So how are you going to be spending the Birds on the Niagara Festival this year?
Well, I'm leading a couple of hikes, probably like you. So I'm looking forward to meeting people and some people I know and some people I have yet to meet. So I'm looking forward to that and showing them the wonders of looking at probably ducks if you're a beginner, but gulls can be pretty cool too. Last year I showed a bunch of beginners a lesser blackback, which was quite close to us. So it was excellent opportunity to show people that there are more than just ringbill and herring gulls around.
Do you know offhand how many different gulls you've seen in the Niagara River?
I was really lucky to get, I think, a short-billed gull.
Oh yeah, last year.
Last year. So I guess that would put my total up around 15 or 16, I want to say. Does that sound about right?
That sounds about right, because there's about 18. There were 19, and then they lumped Thayer's gull into Iceland gull.
Yeah.
Which made it really hard to find 10 species of gull in one day when they took that away from us. But
they split Mew and shortbills, so there's still more.
It would be very tough to find two of those.
Oh yeah,
in one day,
in 1 year even.
Yeah, right. So we're gonna wrap up here. Thank you, Marcie. Hope to see you across the river. I'll give you a wave. And thanks for joining us today, and enjoy the winter birding season.
Always a pleasure, Tom.
Nice talking to you.